Hello. So let's act like we're actually friends and that you know me and that I know you, and this is a regular thing that we do. We regularly FaceTime each other and talk on the phone. So you're probably already used to, if you're an iPhone user, and I'm not about to start this whole like iPhone Android battle, but if you're an iPhone user, you're probably already used to the sounds associated to FaceTime. I'm talking the notifications, the ringtone, the answer call, the end call, all of that. And you know what this icon looks like? You've seen the title of this video, so you essentially know what this whole video is about. This is actually my first YouTube video, and I didn't want to start out talking about myself because why would you want to know about me? So I want to talk about something that I'm really passionate about, FaceTime. I genuinely enjoy talking to people. I think, obviously in-person conversations in real life is the most premium version of human communication, but FaceTime does suffice, as a second alternative to that when, something like the pandemic happens. So I wanted to talk about my love for FaceTime and maybe at the end of this video, encourage you to FaceTime a friend. Hi again. So before the video actually continues, I wanted to just stop quickly to thank you for clicking on the video and actually getting to this point. So little intro, tiny intro. This is the most intro I'm gonna do for now. So my name is Ray. It's short for Reynold. I haven't really come up with an exact reason as to why I told people to start calling me Ray instead of Reynold. I'm still working on that explanation. It has to be something that, would be inspiring. So I haven't come up with that yet. So my name is Ray and I'm starting this YouTube channel and this is my first ever video. I don't necessarily know the direction this is gonna go to. I do know for sure that I have a lot to say and I'm gonna say it, but I'm not too sure where, what direction the channel is gonna go to. So let's just start by talking about something that I'm really passionate about, FaceTime. Thank you again for clicking this video and I hope you do enjoy it. If you feel like you wanna embark on this curiosity journey with me, maybe not curiosity journey, but if you feel like you want to embark on this like YouTube development journey with me, please click the subscribe. If not, just watch the video to the end. I think you're actually going to find it really interesting. All right, let's continue. So I think that the most important way to really appreciate something is to understand the history. So in the cave ages, I think the most popular form of communication was like this thing where like they would come back from their day of doing whatever, hunting, whatever, and like sit in a circle with the fire and then talk about their day and talk about what they did throughout the day, which is like their form of communication. But obviously at some point reproduction increases, they have a higher number, so they have to move to they have to start new colonies, families. I don't know. They have to start new colonies and families in different places. So there is now this long distance barrier. So we obviously can't communicate the way we do over fire and over the thingy anymore. So the new method that they came up with, obviously they didn't have any FaceTime, they didn't have any cell phones at that moment in time. They did have wood and they had fire. So they started making smoke signals. It was a very popular method of communication. And different smoke signals represented very different things. So, that was their way of communicating with each other long distance. So that out of the way, we fast forward so many years and then we, human beings, are using pigeons all of a sudden to communicate with each other. If you've watched Game of Thrones, you probably understand what I'm talking about. So someone is like attaching a message to a pigeon, sending it over to another person, and then the pigeon flies over and then the person receives a message. It really got to the point where these pigeons were really important, that I think there was this one pigeon, a French pigeon, that got an award during World War I. This is me editing the video. It's important to know that she did all of that in 1 year. She literally had a lifespan of just 1 year and she got a whole award. So, question your life choices. And then we fast forward into this technological period and we're using things like the telegraph, we're using the Morse code, we're using radio. It's funny that all of these forms of communication actually came about from the need for the military to succeed and the need to win wars. But I guess war is one of the renaissance periods of humanity. It's a period where new technologies arise because of that necessity to succeed. We move on to the era where we have computers, we have mini computers, we have telephones, and these give us that ability to be able to wirelessly communicate. And now you see this evolution of the telephone that we've had over time, and we have the smartphone all of a sudden that has this amazing abilities to have social media apps like Instagram, TikTok, and all of that, as well as, apps like FaceTime or Zoom or WebEx that really help us to communicate one-on-one with each other. Maybe that was a lot of information at the same time, but there was no reason that I wasn't gonna mention the fact that the French pigeon got an award for being the best homing pigeon on the planet, and I did need to provide some context to that. But actually, the major reason why I wanted to make this video, this whole FaceTime video, is as a tribute to some of the friendships that I've been able to cultivate and grow in and form amazing bonds as a result of FaceTime. Because for me, there's something extremely special about the ability to fully communicate with someone. It's the most relieving feeling ever. And I might be romanticizing this a little bit too much, but obviously as human beings, we have our verbal languages. I speak English. The person I'm speaking to understands English, but there's also so much that goes on in our face. And like, even you watching this video and seeing the way I'm talking, and you see how excited I am about the topic, it's amazing that technology has allowed us to do the same with FaceTime. So the inspiration for this video actually came from a birthday present I was supposed to put together for my friend Vanessa last year on her birthday. I keep saying it was because I actually didn't get to put it together. I think something came up, or I was just lazy and I just couldn't put it together. But I did something to make up for it. But I was supposed to put together this essay that I was going to title FaceTime Painted Me a Little Hard. And in the essay, I was just going to talk about how grateful that I was of the fact that we stayed connected over the years through FaceTime. Little backstory about me and Vanessa. We both graduated secondary school in 2018, and I came to the US for college and she went to Canada. And you know, just to remain in contact and to keep that friendship going, because we were already really good friends in high school, we had to make that extra effort to stay connected. And FaceTime was, we didn't really think about it. We were just like, you know what, I'm just gonna FaceTime you when I have the time. And we were in the same time zone, so it kind of worked. And we would start it off like FaceTime each other on the weekends and just like whenever we were free, and that became more and more frequent over time. And we would just like call each other just to like update, you know, each other on what's going on in our lives and like the struggles that we're facing as first-time college students, being in a whole different country. And like sometimes we would just like FaceTime each other and talk about absolutely nothing for hours. And it even got to a point where we would just FaceTime for the sake of company. Like whenever I'm like doing homework and I just don't want to leave my room, I don't want to go to the library, I'll just FaceTime her and just like have her there on the side. And you know, don't speak to me. Just do your work while I'm right here. And it really just helped to build such a unique friendship, because there wasn't that physical aspect. We didn't get to hang out with each other all the time, but we still remained as close as people who got to hang out all the time, because we were essentially hanging out virtually all the time on FaceTime whenever we got the chance. And we continued to do this for like 3 years straight without seeing each other, and just stayed in touch through FaceTime whenever we got the chance to, very frequently, sometimes every day, sometimes once in 3 days, sometimes over the weekends. And this past winter was the first time that both of us went back to Nigeria at the same time, and was the first time that we were seeing each other in 3 years, which was, you know, it was amazing that I got to see my friend who I haven't seen in so long after 3 years, and I was so excited to be in the same physical space with her. But at the same time, it didn't really feel like we just picked up from when we last spoke on FaceTime, if that makes sense, even if I literally hadn't seen her for like 3 years, which was insane. And now I'm back in the US and she's back in Canada, and we're back FaceTime each other as usual as we do. But it definitely doesn't equate being in person and being in the same physical space, but it does suffice as a great alternative. That's all I got for now, but all I'm saying is that instead of texting a friend today or just voice calling someone, set out some time and FaceTime someone if that's not something that you're used to doing. You never know how much better that conversation is going to be. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you.